Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer Series 3. Up front is a 6.4 liter V8, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Jeep Grand Wagoneer for a bunch of reasons, but mainly the fact that I haven't reviewed one before, and there's a lot of cool and interesting things that go into a Wagoneer. This video was filmed in the beautiful Sunshine State of Florida. If you would like to submit your vehicle no matter where you are in the country, please head on over to zackpradle.com, where there's a quick and easy submission form, and the next time I travel the country, I might be coming to you. But let's get back to that 6.4 liter V8 under the hood making 471 horsepower. Well, I think it's a great engine, and it's what Mopar has used for the last several years. The old SRT products used to come with this 6.4 liter ever since the mid-2000s, and it's a decently reliable engine. There was some cylinder deactivation issues a while back, but that seems to all be sorted out by now. However, the V8 is a big drawing force to the Grand Wagoneer because this vehicle's competitor and this car's owner's previous vehicle, the Lincoln Navigator, now only comes with a twin-turbo V6. Well, this comes with the V8, and you get that oomph, and you get that effortless oomph. This car just kind of goes. You don't have to wait for turbos to spool up or any of that nonsense. Now, you can now get these with the 3 liter straight 6 from Jeep that is a twin turbo. However, you're going to fall into the same pitfalls that the Lincoln Navigator fell into, where you're not going to have that much low-end power. That's the nice thing about this car, is that it just seems unbothered by life, and that's a nice feeling. Like I said, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, Jeep has been doing 8 speeds in their more normal vehicles for quite a while now. It's nice, smooth, and quiet, and I don't have any qualms about it. Last but not least, of course, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer is 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. So how does it feel to actually drive the Grand Wagoneer? Well, it's a pretty big vehicle. Frontward visibility is actually not terrible. It's not winning any awards either. The ride is nice and quiet and smooth, which I really, really like. This is a luxury vehicle, and Jeep made that very apparent. The first interesting thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that Jeep went to all of their dealers and said, hey, if you want to sell the Grand Wagoneer, you have to update your entire dealership. You have to make it look nice and on par with the luxury that the Grand Wagoneer offers. And so most Jeep dealerships abided by that and updated their dealerships. That's why your local dealer might have gone through a renovation recently or might be planning one. Jeep actually had that in their stipulations in order for dealers to sell them. So I thought that that was kind of interesting. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster. I'll cycle through a couple different modes here in case you're curious. I really, really like this gauge cluster. I like the customization of it. I think it's unique and interesting, and definitely gives the Grand Wagoneer a very modern feel. On the steering wheel, which I could have easily mistaken for a Range Rover Sport steering wheel, off to the left I have my selectors for that center screen, as well as my phone options, and that little button with the circle and 3 boxes that actually will bring you up to the menu for the gauge cluster. Off to the right, I have my cruise control settings, so this does have radar cruise control as well as steering assist. And I can limit the gear on the steering wheel as well. So I can't plus minus. I don't have a shifter that allows me to plus minus. However, I can sort of limit the gears here, which is a nice option. Like I said, the steering wheel looks straight out of a Range Rover, which I absolutely love. I think it looks fantastic and really adds to the luxury of this vehicle. Off to the left, up at the very top, I do have a Macintosh speaker. So this has a Macintosh speaker system, much like the Jeep Grand Cherokee L that I drove last year. Then I have a climate control vent, my headlight switches and dimmer switches, and then my power parking brake. Moving on to the door, I have my power seat adjustments as well as my massage seats, which are very, very nice, and you get a bunch of different options for that, which I love. And moving down on the door, we have the power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. The seats are memory as well. Off to the right, you get 2 different memory seat options. Moving into the center, we get a giant infotainment system, but again, this feels very fresh and modern, at least in the software department. This seems on par with like the Hummer EV and other more modern big sized vehicles I've driven recently. I do of course have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I can come down to vehicle, I can put down my second row headrest, mirror dimmer switch, and fam cam, which actually shows a rear facing camera as well as a top down camera to keep an eye on your family members in case they're acting up. What I do love, however, is off to the left, I have somewhat physical, they're touch sensitive, not push button, but buttons for the heated and ventilated seats as well as heated steering wheel. The reason I love this so much is that in older Jeep products and other Dodge products like the Durango, the heated seats are in the screen and they're buried behind some menus, which makes it really frustrating. This right here, love it, super easy. This also does come with a 360 camera and the backup cameras are very clear. I'll show them here, and I really like that, especially driving a larger vehicle. It's so nice to have a top-down bird's eye view. Then we have the climate controls. They're very slim, they're sort of hidden almost underneath the infotainment system. Of course, fan speed, dual zone, all of those bells and whistles. And then we get a secondary screen. This is to also run the climate controls, but will also run the massage seat features, the seat features, and I can just turn this screen off as well. I do like this. Normally, I'm not a big fan of dual screens. However, I think it's integrated pretty well here in the Grand Wagoneer, and I have no complaints. Then I get a bunch of buttons for like auto hold. I can actually lift the screen to show a little compartment for my USBs, HDMIs, 12-volt outlet, all of that stuff. I really like that cool button. Then I have my parking assist, trailer modes, parking sensors, all of those goodies down here. You'll also find the shifter and drive modes down here. So off to the left, we have several different drive modes. We have rock, sand/mud, snow, auto, and sport. So this will change the drive modes of the car as well as change the height. However, if you want to just change the height on your own, off to the right, there are the air suspension controls where you can raise or lower the vehicle depending on however you're feeling that certain day. In the center of that, we do get the gear shifter. I really like that. It is a rotary style shifter, and Dodge/Jeep/Ram has been using this for the last decade and a half, and it seems to work well. Then we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and unfortunately, FCA products tend to not really pass the big friggin' bottle test. It's unfortunate. I wish that they did, but alas, they unfortunately do not. Then we do get a giant center console. One cool thing is that this can actually be used as a little refrigerator. You hit this little snowflake icon and it'll pump air conditioning into this box, keeping it cool. The seats are heated, ventilated, power, memory, and massage. They will do everything short of cooking you breakfast in the morning, which I love. These are very comfortable, very versatile seats that I really enjoy. However, speaking of seats, this is a 3-row SUV. We have 2 more rows of seating, so let's go do some backseat reviews. All right, so we're in the back of the 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and there's a lot to talk about back here. First of all, seating space is fine. It's not anything crazy because it is a 3-row. The second row kind of spares a little bit of space. I can move it back. That's about as far back as I can go. It's not amazing in terms of this. I'd probably choose an Escalade in terms of second row seating. However, definitely not bad. I have 2 screens looking at me right now. One on the back of the driver's seat, and of course one on the back of the passenger seat. And then I also have one down here, so I can look at my heated and ventilated second row seats. Fantastic. As well as I can change my climate controls and all of those goodies. Really love all of that. I do also get cup holders back here and my own center console, much like the front center console. Love that as well. I also get 4 USB chargers, 2 traditional, 2 USB-C, a wall outlet, and a cigarette lighter 12-volt outlet that only works when the car is on, which is all fantastic stuff. I do also get a 3rd row, so let me hop back there. That's not what I wanted. So we're now in the 3rd row of the Grand Wagoneer, and I have these buttons over here to tilt my seat forward and backward a little bit, but it's nice to see. I get my own vents in the sides here, as well as a USB-C and USB traditional on both sides, and I get my own sunroof back here. For what was lacking a little bit in space for the second row is definitely made up with the third row. I know that seat is down, but even in the up position, it's not hitting me. It's not touching me. This is a fantastic third row and really, really a cornerstone that makes the Grand Wagoneer something that stands out from the crowd. Now let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so right here on the key fob, hit it twice for the rear tailgate. There we go. And once we are back here, we do have second row and third row power down. We have a 12-volt outlet, tons of storage options. You can even pick this up, and we have some more storage down there, as you can see. Nothing really terribly crazy beyond that. You can set the height of the tailgate so it doesn't go up and bonk anything, which is really nice. But overall, it's really, really nice storage space for a 3-row SUV. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I really actually do like the look of the Grand Wagoneer. I think it has this grandiose sort of presence to it. I think when you see them in traffic, they do have this presence. However, I think they're a little close to the Grand Cherokee L. I think I mix them up in traffic every once in a while. I'm not saying the Grand Cherokee L doesn't look great, but they do look rather similar in my opinion, so I guess that would be easy to mix up. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving the Jeep Grand Wagoneer from 2022? Well, I have to say that I enjoy it. I've enjoyed my experience here. There's a couple gimmicky things that I would worry about long term, like the screen coming down. I hope those motors never get jammed. I hope the gauge screen or center screen doesn't break, but that's a worry I have with any modern car that uses screens as much as this. So I can't really fault the Grand Wagoneer that much. It's not a personal thing. However, I am really impressed to see that Jeep has really stepped up their game and made a luxury vehicle. I am very comfortable to say that this is a luxury SUV, rivaling that of the Escalade, rivaling that of the Navigator, rivaling that of the Lexus GX line. I think it is superb. I think it's fantastic. And the biggest thing is that extra little power and torque you get from the V8. It's naturally aspirated. You're not stressing the engine out when you ask it to tow something or haul your friends around. And that to me is a big, big benefit of this car. I hope the V8 sticks around for a while. We'll see, because it's no longer the standard option for 2023. It is still a $0 option, but it's not standard. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully not too far. Huge thank you to Matt from Obscure Rides that let me take out his Jeep Grand Wagoneer, as well as Charlie from Alpha Detailing. He did a quick detail job on this car just for my video. If you're in the Jacksonville area, he's a mobile detailer that does fantastic work. His information will also be found in the description below, as well as Obscure Cars. Matt, who owns this Wagoneer, was so gracious enough. He has tons of cool, interesting, and weird cars that you'll see on the channel. He's been a huge asset to my reviews, and I can't thank him enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.